Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I am Donna Lynn Hilton, producer for Goodspeed Musicals. Welcome to my home office. This is not the way that I intended to entertain you during 2020, but here we are. I think we've managed well, and we are deeply grateful to those of you who are joining us tonight. If you enjoy what you see tonight and you want to share it with a friend, please remember that this series stays on our website. So if you have missed a series or you want to rewatch this or redirect a friend to the cool things that are going on here, you can find a link to all of these in the home office programs on our website, goodspeed.org. Before we get going tonight, let me remind you that if you have questions for me or for our guest, you can enter them into the chat on the right side of your screen or text them to that number that's rolling along the bottom there. Okay, so let's get to it. My guest tonight is a writer and actor who has been a member of the original Broadway company of Beetlejuice the Musical and A Bronx Tale. Regionally, Gilbert has been featured in many productions, but he's here tonight to talk to us about his work as a writer and to share his original musical, About to Blow an Album. So let's please welcome Gilbert Bailey. Gilbert L. Bailey II. I'm sorry.
Yeah, oh, no, don't be sorry.
Your father is not here.
Yeah, my father. Unfortunately, my father is really not here. He's moved on. He's gone on to whatever's next. You know
I'm
what
sorry.
I mean? Oh, don't be sorry. I hope it's a wonderful thing. You know, he was one of those guys who really believed in heaven, and so for his sake, I really believe that it's, or hope that it's whatever he believed it was. You know,
that's beautiful. Well, he did a good job. I'll say that. I didn't know him, but he was clearly a fine human and father because I know you.
Oh, that's kind. I like him. He's cool.
So tell us about. So first of all, how are you doing? Let's start there. How are you doing? I like to start there with during this crazy time.
You know, so I if I'm honest, like I feel good. Like, you know, I just feel rested and not rested like emotionally. Like I'm all over emotionally about, you know, the social situation that we're in and the things that are kind of coming to fore at this moment. But as far as like how I feel spiritually, physically, who I am in my body, I feel great. I feel like, you know, I'm great, you know, blessed not to be suffering from COVID, you know, trying to be there for my friends who we've lost some, you know, in my immediate circle. So that's been tough, you know, but also gained a lot of cool perspective and a lot of like insight into, you know, just sitting down for a second and slowing up from it. I think, you know, at least where I was and where my circle was, I think everything had gotten really fast. And this kind of forced moment of introspection and thought and just has been nice, you know? So despite the tumult that's happening all around, which is truly happening, you know, within the space of that, within my little space of it, I'm like, all right, I'm like just kind of breathing right now and taking it easy.
I love that you can experience it that way. And it's one of the reasons that I love checking in with artists during this whole time. Because I'll be honest and say I don't really have that. I don't have that clarity yet.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, and so it's really reassuring to me to chat with people like you, who I have come to know and care about, and to know, first of all, that you're in that space, so you're able to manage that space and protect you, and also to absorb that a little bit. I think it's been really a saving grace for me.
Oh, well, good. Well, I'm here for you. You know what I'm saying? If you need a little nestling, we're good. You know what I mean?
You are like one of the most optimistic people I ever that I've ever met. So are you in New York? People like
I'm
to
in
know
New York.
Where you are.
My wife and I, we didn't leave. We kind of just hunkered down and followed all the rules and stayed safe and stayed put, you know, and kind of like all the places that, you know, we could. I'm not, to be quite honest, I couldn't. I'm not one of the people who could like move back home for a couple months. Like I know, like I love my mom, but you know, I'm grown. You know what I'm saying?
Mom.
I'm an adult, so like it's like
you made your life.
There was exactly. We made a life, and there was just no like because everything was upended with everything outside. It just felt like for us the right decision wasn't to then like take us out of our space, and you know, like if I can't be next to my piano and my books and my things during this time, you know, then you know maybe that's part of the reason why I'm able to be in such a zone is because I've kind of curated this space for myself before it even happened. And so when it happened, I didn't feel the necessity of, we were already comfortable. So it didn't feel like leaving here would make us feel better about COVID. So we're still here. We're still
and you show that obeying the rules works. Following the rules, in this case, following the rules works.
It really did. I mean, we've been, I mean, not even a cough or a tickle, you know, nothing past like, you know, I was just cleaning out some dust and now I'm sneezing. You're like, oh no, you know, but like, oh yeah.
No, we all do that. Oh my God.
But you have to go back to causation. Like you're like cause and effect. You were literally just cleaning the dust. This is what you were doing. You got into your emotion. You forgot you were doing it. You sneezed. You freaked out. And then your hand is still going here. And you're like, oh, that's what it was. Calm down. You know, like, you know, little moments like that.
We're all doing it.
That's been my deepest anxiety so far.
Yeah. Good. So we met when you joined the Mercer Writers Colony. What year was it?
2018, I believe. Yeah.
2018. Okay. It feels like longer ago than that, but that's how this world has gone. And you came to work on a new musical called The In-Between.
Yes.
Which I liked very much. And I loved your energy and the work you were doing on that show and the way that you were collaborating with the room as part of the colony. So I contacted you to join us for this night to talk about that. And you said, I'd love to. Yeah, but I want to talk about another show. Yeah, so we're going to get to that. But so first, let's step back a little bit further than that. As an actor, you have the kind of resume, frankly, that a lot of people would envy. 3 Broadway shows, many regional credits. You appear to me like one of those actors that, I'm knocking wood, works all the time except during a pandemic. Okay. And so first of all, how did you come to musical theater?
Really by accident. I was in school and I was, you know, I grew up singing in church choirs and singing in community choirs and
in San Diego. You grew up
in San Diego. Right? Yeah, in San Diego. And then very soon, I lived in San Diego till I was like 10, and then I moved to Denver, Colorado and Aurora in that area. And then I moved to Philadelphia for high school. Okay. So I kind of hopped all over the country. But at each spot, you know, I was always singing, very active in church and in the choirs. And my grandmother in Denver ran this community children's choir. So we were always like singing and dancing and like making up skits and like doing things to like try and like, you know, entertain the crowd. So like, you know, even like I remember where the choir that my grandmother ran was called Jubilation Singers. And I remember writing out step chants with my dad for the choir because we were going to teach them like this step. We wanted to make it like a scene, and then we wanted to turn it into it would become a battle, and we wouldn't think it was a battle. So I remember like writing this little play with my dad before going into rehearsal the next day to like teach everybody, you know, because my dad, I should say, like my dad, like in it, he was a step dancer and a, you know, hip hop and a dancer. Okay. And so he was helping with the choir, and so we would make up those things. And so then I got to middle school, and I was in the choir at middle school, and one of the teachers was trying to do one of the concerts in a different way. She wanted to do Schoolhouse Rock Live. And so I was like, all right, I'm in choir, I'll sing it. And so she gave me a bunch of solos, and I was singing, I'm just a bill, I'm only a bill. But like, she was like, you got to act, you got to do it. And like, I was taken to it and I loved it. And so it was cool. And then we moved to Philly. And so I moved to Philly and I got to high school, and I'm, you know, I was just a boy, you know, so I'm like, I'm wrestling, I'm going out for the wrestling team, I'm going out for the basketball team, and I make both the wrestling team, I make both the basketball team. But then I joined choir at this school, Ben Salem High School. I joined the choir at the school, and all these girls were very cute in the choir, and this a couple of like senior girls, so like really like cute and older than me, like took an interest and were like, you should audition for the musical. You'd be great to be in the musical. And I had done that little Schoolhouse Rock Live thing in 7th grade. So I was like, sure, whatever. And so the musical I was like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, fine. Y'all are cute. I'll do it. So I went, and the musical was 42nd Street. And I booked Billy Lawler. I booked in high school. I booked it. I booked it. Yeah. So I booked Billy Lawler in 42nd Street. And so I was on the basketball team at the same time. And so I was going to practice in the afternoon and going to rehearsal on every other days and like skipping. I was like missing rehearsals at certain times and then missing basketball. And eventually the basketball coach was like, yo, bro, we need you to like make a hard, fast decision, you know? And he was like straight up like, forget that little musical stuff, bro. Like, come over here and get it cracking. And like all my boys was like, yeah, bro, you got to drop that. I'm like, excuse my language. But they were like, you got to drop that. And I was like, oh yeah, all right, whatever. And then so the head of the music theater, like the drama department, this woman named Mrs. Lenore Hope, but Mama Hope to me. And Mama Hope looked at me. She came up to me and she's like, Gilbert, young man, let me talk to you. I want to ask you, do you see yourself really playing basketball? And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, I mean, in your life, man. She's like, how tall are you, Gilbert? Let's be honest. And I was like, not tall, Mrs. Hope. She's like, so if we're being honest, just about like, if basketball is something you can do, probably not. You know what I mean? But she's like, I really, really like, you are so good. She's like, I think you could really make this theater thing something you do. So as far as like giving your time, you know, I know you love basketball. She's like, but you could play with them little boys after school on another day. You could come do this, which you're really good at and could have a future in, and you could play and you could keep playing with them, just maybe not on the team. And so so I was like, oh snap, feelings. I mean, because I was about to be point guard start, like I was on the team, okay, like the team didn't care about my height. I'll just say that, but I was on the team, and but she made me think about it in a way. It's like, you know, my favorite basketball player. And it was just like ironic because my favorite basketball player was always Muggsy Bogues, who is like the shortest basketball player to play. He was the #1 on the Charlotte Hornets. And what I love, like there's this great picture. I even have, can I get a picture?
Sure.
Is that okay? I'm gonna get a picture.
Why not? We don't have anywhere else to be.
I know. So like this is Muggsy Bogues and Michael Jordan. And so you can see Muggsy here. And that's Michael. And when people see this photo, or they know that I like this photo, they think I like it because of Michael Jordan.
No.
And I don't. What I love is like Muggsy Bogues is about to get that ball. What happens after this photo is that Muggsy Bogues strips the ball off of him. You know, and Muggsy was so good at like, he used his height to his advantage all the time. Like he won jump balls. You know what I mean? He would maneuver his way to win the jump ball. And so I thought like, well, Muggsy did it. And then I really thought about it. I don't love basketball enough to be as good as Muggsy Bogues is at it. And to be my height, like I would have had to have been as good as Muggsy Bogues, or now currently like Nate Robinson, the guys who are like holding down being under a certain height. Like I would have had to work as hard, like enjoy working as hard at basketball as they did. And I enjoyed more sitting at my piano, and I enjoyed more, like I would do that until 4 o'clock in the morning. I play basketball a good 2 hours and I'm done with it, you know?
Well, I'll say thank you to Mama Hope and Muggsy for their guiding your decision to where they guided you. So that's acting. What about the writing? When did you turn to writing?
I mean, that's always been a thing of mine, because I mean, I in the, you know, always being in choirs and always being involved in those things, we all, you know, we would always have to like write songs for like things. And like, just like when you grow up playing in church, you grow up playing by ear. So like, I have this like thing where like, I can like listen to a song and at least hear the chord changes, but like here, I hear them here before I like pieces, you know, because you know, when you're playing in church, like you just got to pick up the changes and go, do you know what I mean? Because nobody's putting sheet music in front of you, you know? So making up things on the fly kind of became like my thing. And then it was like, I would just spend days like in the lunch, like on my lunch break, I would just like sneak out of the cafeteria and go to like one of the pianos in the choir room. And I would just be compelled to just like sit there and play around with what I did. I remember one day, like somebody snuck out from the cafeteria and bought KFC and then brought KFC back. And I saw them come back with the KFC, and I was so mad that they like went out and snuck out, and everybody couldn't go out and sneak out, that like I had to go write about it. So I remember writing a song, but like I remember writing a song about KFC and how I wanted KFC, like, and how like it was just unfair that some people got to get KFC and not get in trouble for it, and other people did it. And
so that's a good segue. That's a good segue, because if I'm following you correctly, the new piece has come about fairly recently, right?
Oh yeah.
So tell us about to Blow an album. Tell us about it.
About to Blow an Album is a show about a young man named Jarrell who is trying to make it in the music business. Like he's trying to make it as a writer. He's trying to write songs that are better than the songs that he hears on the radio, and he means socially. So he writes hip hop and R&B and you know he you know there's a rap in the show that is quintessential about what it's about for him. That's just about wanting to see, there was a time where he thought that hip hop and R&B and that music was elevated, and now it's kind of being co-opted and made into this thing that's just commercial and just this, and nobody's saying any real stuff anymore. And so he's trying to become a writer so he can say all of those real things. And really what it is then is a story about a young man who's striving to get further in his career and be the person that he wants to be. And where it really came from for me is like being in art, in that, like, you know, not egotistical, but that self-serving way of like, as an actor, I kept seeing that there were no roles for me that were not of a certain trajectory, that were not of a, you know, like, I'm Black. So on stage, like, you know, you see me on stage, if you see me, then I'm probably about to be called the N-word by some white person. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and by see me, I mean, like, if your attention is drawn to me. Right. If not that, I'm man number 4 and I'm fitting the quota to be here.
Understood.
And I hated those two, like that those are kind of the only place, you know, whereas like, you know, you get to see, like, I mean, we can go into deep shows, but I'll keep it simple, but like Legally Blonde, you know what I'm saying? Like, like that aspiration of wanting to go to college and be taken seriously and do things like that is a very true aspiration. You know what I mean? And like, I wish that aspiration could be dramatized in the canon of music theater outside of like being white and having an aspiration of that.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely.
like, you know, like the dignified battle for a Black man is to be fighting the cause of being Black and being recognized in my Blackness and the dignity of that things. And I'm like, I just want to sing a love song because like I'm nervous when I talk to girls. Do you know what I'm saying? And like, and white guys get to just be nervous when they talk to girls all the time. Do you know what I mean? Like, and so there's that, it's that sort of thing of, I also think that letting people see that, you know, Black guys are just sometimes nervous to talk to their girl, you know, also let you know that like, it tears down the walls of like the white supremacy. Like really what it is embedded white supremacy. Every time I step on stage as a Black man, my position is assumed to be lesser than. Whether if you see me, if you notice me, it's lesser than by the social aspect. And if you're not going to see it that way, then it's lesser than because I'm in the ensemble. Do you know what I mean? Like then there's no way to mobile. So there's two different ways that it feels lesser than. And so Bout to Blow is like a show for me that kind of just counterbalances that perception. Like it's a story with a plot that no, most of the time, like when this plot comes, it's like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a young plucky white guy or a young plucky, you know, thing, and we think that, but it's also too because it's set in contemporary time, so it's set because of the current moment. I've had to change something. The centralizing thing for it about being Black at this time is even when you're moving, there are just things and understandings there. Like, I think that in the conversation, people don't understand about the way that Black people move and code switch, and that there are things that are uniquely Black in the way that we code switch, or the kind of the two conversations we have going on in our head all the time. Like the conversation of, wow, they just killed George Floyd, wow, they just cleared Eric Garner, wow, they just killed. But I'm also just trying to get somebody to listen to my music. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so like,
absolutely. And
so with all, you know, when white guys get like, everybody, you know, the white guy struggling for that right now, he's like, I'm just trying to get somebody to listen to my music. You know, and the Black guy, you know, just trying to get somebody to listen to music is also I'm
trying to survive the day and get someone to listen to my music.
And that is a palpable, that's a real thing. And so, and so in that way, I did want to use in that way with Bout to Blow, Jarrell is very much that. Like he's Black. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's not the other thing that happens sometimes in the canon or in like casting and stuff is like, sometimes like we'll cast a Black guy in something that wasn't Black before because we're saying like even a Black guy can do that, which I love. And that's right. Yes. But we don't have to do that with Fiddler on the Roof. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they should be Jewish and of that aesthetic, but it doesn't have to be a thing, you know, like no, Jarrell is a Black guy. But he's not a Black guy, and he's not out here like trying to fight a white guy. And he's not about to be like, it's not about to be a thing where, you know, oh my gosh, the dramatic crux in the conflict is when they finally call him the nigger. And now he's like, what is he gonna do when he's standing here? And is he gonna rise above it? You know, it's he's Black. And so because I'm Black, there are cultural things that, you know, there are.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you share that, because it's something that our white audience needs to hear. It's something that I, as a producer, someone who's responsible for bringing titles to the theater to program, we need to hear, because we're not going to change perception. We live in a little bubble, yes, a little musical theater bubble, but we can help this massive social problem.
Certainly.
And the only way that I can help is with the work that we do at Goodspeed. The best way anyway that I can help is by elevating the voices of people of color, by elevating the stories that illuminate the experience of people of color in our country. And so I appreciate you underscoring that. We had a show on a couple of weeks ago, Missing Piece, PEACE, a Native American musical. And one of the things that I loved so much about it in my early conversations with the writers was, this is just a beautiful, heartfelt story. And the characters happen to be Native American, and that's what's so important, is that we just tell a story that engages an audience, makes them think about the human experience, and then go, oh, and that's a Black family, or whatever.
But absolutely,
just like me,
like they have their thing, like just like me. Oh, they like this stuff, just like I do. Oh, they're talking, and I do think that that's important, and I think that's the thing about, like, I don't want to have to like explain my Blackness every time I'm on the stage. I don't want to have to justify that I'm Black to be here. I just kind of want to just like be Black, because I can. I can really just be Black and just bring what that like I am Black. We could talk.
So let's get to your music, because I don't want to run out of time here. I said I wouldn't keep you all night. So you brought a song.
Yes.
You want to set this up for us? Where does this come in the show?
Sure. This song is in Act 2. And so I told you about the character Jarrell, and I told you about like one of the themes of playing with this is just kind of seeing a Black guy kind of just in love and like being having like the floor crumble out of him, and be able to live in that. And so this is an Act 2 song. So, there's this thing of like, I mean, I've had it happen to me so many times. I'm almost embarrassed to admit it right now. I'm telling people this, like sometimes liking a girl and really wanting to tell her, but like not telling her, and being close and thinking that everybody knows, but then no, everybody doesn't know. And so you want to say it and you never do. And so in this situation with Jarrell, the girl he really loves, Lucy, is actually about to, they're roommates, and she's about to leave. Something really happened bad in the show with what she was trying to do in her career. She just got something stolen from her, and it was really, really embarrassing. And she's like, forget it. I'm going back to Boulder. I'm done with this stuff. And I'm leaving. And Jarrell really doesn't want her to leave, because part of the thing is the reason that she's mad and leaving is because of a failure of his. He got her song stolen. And so he doesn't want her to leave. But he can't, she's like, why should I stay? And he's like, well, I love you. And so they have this thing where they like sit down and they play songs, and she's a singer and he's a songwriter. So they play songs a lot together. So he sits down at the piano to try and work out what he's going to say to her and try to just convince her not to go home. And that's what this song is.
Okay. His rehearsal. We all do that. We rehearse what we're going to say.
Yeah.
Okay. When you're ready, Gilbert. Thank you.
Time's a funny thing. It seems you never get enough to find the right words to say and stuff before the moment to say is staring you in the face. And it's funny how quick a year or two goes by, how they can be the best years of your life, and you still don't know exactly how to put in words what you feel, how to find the courage to reveal. But then your reason for living says she's taking the wheel and hitting the road. Well, here goes. Look, I know nothing I'm saying is new to the world, but I want you and me to be together. Yes, I'd give anything if you would be my girl for always. If you'd say that you'll stay. live without authentic Thai food down the block? Your favorite little overpriced coffee shop, that hipster store in Brooklyn that sells I Love Lucy socks. And who could live without window shopping down Fifth Avenue? You gon' get that, cause when your big break comes through, all that will be bigger is my love for you. I say this and truly believe there's so much you can achieve. But if you don't stay for yourself, then I selfishly ask that for me you don't leave. Girl, I know that I'm saying nothing new to the world, but I want you and me to be together. Yes, I'd give anything if you would be my girl for always. If you say that you'll stay, I know as well as you everything won't go your way. And if you decide to stay, there are demons you'll have to slay. But I promise right now that forever and a day I'll be by your side, come whatever, come what may. And I know that I'm saying nothing new to the world, but I want you and me to be together. Yes, I'd give everything if you would be my girl for always. If you'd say that you'll stay, that you'll stay. Please stay.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Does she stay? Does
Well,
he ever work up the courage?
Wow, I'm so glad you asked that. The courage,
Does he ever work up the courage to tell her?
It ends resolved. I mean, spoiler
alert.
alert. One of the other things I'm battling too is like the thing where I don't like every time a guy sings to a girl, all of a sudden the girl is like, oh my God, yes, I didn't know I loved you and now I loved you. So spoiler alert, if you ever see this show, no, Lucy doesn't stay because Lucy doesn't want to stay and because Lucy actually isn't into Jarrell that way. And actually that's like one of the big things about the musical that like sometimes like when I'm telling people about they're like, oh, Lucy should fall in love with Jarrell. And I'm like a straight like reality, like I have sung at the piano with several girls and it has not always gone. Like that's not how it goes. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't just sit down and sing and all of a sudden she's like all in love with you. It's also like every time you make that, I think we put in a thing on women too with that. And that's part of the reason why guys feel so brazen to like yell at them on the street. Like, and I think in our art, like, I think if all I did was sing a song, if all I did was sing a song and that changed like everything, then like maybe Lucy doesn't really care about her goals. So
talk about the style of the rest of the music of the show. Is that song typical of the style of the show?
I mean, yeah. I mean, there's it should span like a lot of different like hip hop, R&B, drum. Like there's like I wake up in the morning. Let me see if I can get it. I wake up in the morning. I wake up in the morning. Any day in 20, anything. Another teenager's been shut down in his prime. Like it's like there's that type of thing, but then like that breaks up into this rap. I feel like our music used to have a sense of purpose, elevated, but now it's all a circus with nothing but clowns bringing us down, and we're sedated as consumers. We just eat it up. We really don't give a what. And I'm like, what's up? We used to throw a revolution before we threw the party, but now we just party and party, fill up with more Bacardi like zombies. We hardly stop even just for a second to question now, where are we? Are we moving forward or are we just in it still? Yeah, we doing what we told to do. We practice free will. Shit, I want to be free. I'm trying to give us free. Hey, I bet the club would bounce if it listened to me. So I bet I could make a single that rock on TV and know that when I say me, I'm really saying that we could be the fire to burn the bullshit down at our feet. Yeah, I bet we could make a track that they'll want to repeat. Nick that will whine and repeat. Chick that will whine and repeat. Yeah, and we could hit them hard like a slab of concrete. Yeah, and do it replete without the we ain't shooting snitches. No images of a black man that cannot handle this business. Imagine if they took witness. to a greatness beyond what they expected. Imagine if that connected, and I bet though that would even make as much dough. You be fuming, yo. Yeah, dog, I know. That's so that's like one of the raps in the show.
Beautiful.
Like, yeah, it's not.
Pull that out of your hoo-ha.
Yeah, I was like, because you got like it's like, oh wait, which one is the? Oh yeah,
That's
you have to get to the show. But that's
like beautiful. So who are your who have been your musical influences? I mean,
in my life, in my oh my gosh, in my life, like I'm a '90s like kid. So like I'm like even like my Michael Jackson album is the Dangerous album. That's like how '90s kid I am. But like my influences like are Boys to Men, Usher, Maya. I was like down on that album. Like Soul for Real. I grew up on Tupac and Biggie and like and even Loon. Like weird rappers and real rappers and Etta James and Nina Simone and that whole gumbo, like and then Kirk Franklin. Like Kirk Franklin is like one of my, I grew up in a time in gospel where Kirk Franklin was, he's Elvis. Do you know what I mean? So I know Kirk Franklin's music. Like we used to just listen to that. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, those are my
Send me a playlist. Man,
that's what I really would love to, because I think there's some great stuff out there that don't listen to.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah. All right. I said I wouldn't keep you all night, and we try to keep this to about a half hour, and we've done that. So Gilbert, thank you so much for sharing, for being who you are, for just sharing your perspective and elevating our conversation. It really means the world to me to catch up with you and to be able to showcase your work here. If anybody wants to, is there a website or anything that people can track your work on?
You can check me right now on Instagram and on Facebook. My Instagram is GL Bailey II, and follow me there. I'm still working on getting the website like put up and getting the like demos on it and doing it. I'm gonna be a professional one of these like very, very soon. Like I'm gonna like do all of that. Like
you come across as pretty professional right now.
I feel like I'm professional in the thing of like I can do it, but like in the like go to this website, like I got to get that going. I'm gonna get it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, keep us posted, because I wanna stay involved with you. So keep us posted. And I wish you all the best. Give Jesse my love as well. And thank you for being here. To our audience who joined us tonight, thank you so much. Again, this remains available on our website if you want to revisit any of Gilbert's music or advise a friend to check it out. You can find that at goodspeed.org. We clearly have not given up on new work and elevating the voices of writers of color here at Goodspeed during this pandemic. And so we're really pleased that all of you joined us. To the many of you who have turned to have helped Goodspeed at this time by contributing your ticket refunds, we thank you so much. If you haven't done that already, you can do so. We can turn your 2020 ticket refunds into a tax-deductible gift, or you can visit goodspeed.org to do more. So thank you all for being with us. Stay safe, and we'll see you on the other side of this. Have a good night.